What we are referring to as samskara is just the consequence of karma. There are three aspects: karma, vasana and samskara. Karma means the accumulated imprints, previous actions and the accumulated imprints of that. See, it doesn't matter what's happening right now. Let us say the whole world is burning, but you don't have a single thought on your mind. You're not even aware of it. Nothing happens. Let's say just one little place in the world is burning, but right now you generate a huge amount of thought and emotion about it. Now there's an impression, isn't it? Now there's an impression. So we are calling it karma because it's a certain type of action. It's a certain type of action that you're performing. Physical, mental or emotional type of action is having its impact. It is being… the residue is left in you, this is karma. So, a huge accumulation of this information will create a certain tendency in you. Certain established forms of tendencies will establish themselves. These tendencies we refer to as vasana. The word vasana literally means smell. So if you are sitting here and smelling like a jasmine, bees will come in search of you. If you're sitting here and smelling some other way, let's say no wine, if you're smelling like a mango, then flies will come. If you're smelling like a mosquito repellent, people will come. Mosquito will go, people will come, right? Why are you missing out the big ones? So, depending upon what type of animation is happening from you, accordingly you attract that kind of life and you also move in that direction. This is known as vasana. Vasana is an appropriate word because it is functioning like a smell. Depending upon what is the type of impressions you have, you are exuding a certain type of tendency. In English language, smell would be a wrong word, we can say it's a tendency. You're creating a certain tendency within you. Because of these tendencies, you draw certain things and you also move in certain directions. So what you call as samskara is the consequence of these two. Now you went there and right now you behave in a certain way, you act in a certain way. Now we say this is his samskara. That means this is the consequence that he is bearing from his fruit of action. Whatever the karma is bearing this kind of fruit right now. So, instead of complicating this with too much terminology, we will just call it karma. Karma and its consequence. So, whatever your individual karma, there is a collective karma. I think this was made clear the other day. Your karma is essentially deciding how you experience the world. It is not deciding where you are in the world, what you're doing, it decides the experience. You may be born in a palace because of your samskara, but your karma is such you suffer. Because of your samskara, you may be born on the street side, in a slum, but your karma is such that you're a joyful human being. So, whatever the past karma has created a certain samskara which you cannot change 100% instantly. It has a whole… it needs to be worked. See, suppose you are born in a very poor family, tomorrow morning you can't become rich, you have to work it. Not that you can't become rich, but you can't become rich tomorrow morning. It may take 10 years or 25 years for you to come to a reasonably wealthy state or at least reasonably okay state. So your samskara cannot be changed instantly because it's a consequence, but your karma can be changed instantly. You understand what I'm saying? Your karma, you can change it right now. That means you can change how you behave right now and how you experience life right now. But the situation you may not be able to change because the situation involves many things, not just you. where only you're involved, you can change instantly if you're willing. But even if you and me are willing, the world may not be willing right now to change, isn't it? So, the collective karma is always there, which creates a certain external consequence. But your experience of life is still determined by what kind of karma you have, not by the social samskara or the national samskara. National samskara is deciding our economic status maybe, yes? See, in one country, suppose here, the village that you went to yesterday, they're all earning 80 rupees, which was less than $2, but now it's $2. They're earning better because the American dollar is dropping. They were earning much less than $2, now they're earning $2. That doesn't mean their income has gone up, the dollar has dropped. Men are earning 80 rupees, women are earning around 45, 50, 60 rupees depending upon their skills. So, he's earning $2 per day. Suppose he earns $10 per day, he's a rich man in his society. His joy is just the same as the kind of joy you will have if you make $1 billion. Nothing less, isn't it? Yes or no? In terms of his experience. Suddenly tomorrow he starts making $10 per day, he feels like a billionaire because he compares himself with other people around him and he's doing really well and he feels great. He has a great self-esteem and he enjoys his life thoroughly. He even buys a local brew of arak in the evening and drinks and rolls around a little bit. He can afford all that all of a sudden. But $10 a day, you wouldn't be happy, isn't it? You wouldn't be happy at all, $10 a day. So, the social samskara is not deciding the happiness of a person. How he is within himself is all there is. So, social realities, whatever they are, 1,000 years ago, all of us lived in a slum and we were okay, isn't it? Slums were great places to live, isn't it so? Yes? Slums were really great places to live because all of us lived in a slum 1,000 years ago. It was just a wonderful place. Only one king had a castle or a palace. All of us lived in a slum and it was just fine. Now because so many of us have this and some of us don't have that, comparing ourselves to that somebody else, we are causing this whole thing. So the world's karma or the collective karma will decide how the world will be externally. It will not decide the human experience. Human experience is always decided by individual karma. So, we always say, if everything is going well, we look at you, you're wealthy, you have all the 4 limbs intact, everything is fine with you, but you have a long face. We say, that's his karma. It says everything. On the surface and on the deepest level, it is saying everything. Everybody uses the term with their own level of understanding, but actually it is hitting the very core. It is hitting the very core. We are saying his experience is created by him. Even the person who is saying doesn't understand what he is saying, unfortunately, because he is also an expert in creating misery. When somebody else is miserable, he understands. When he is, he doesn't understand. That's the whole problem with the world, isn't it so? See, whatever is happening to the society around us, the country around us or the world around us, is simply a consequence of what kind of actions we do today, isn't it? What we did yesterday, right now we're either enjoying or suffering it. What we do today, tomorrow, either you or somebody will enjoy it or suffer it. That's the only way it's created. That's the only way anything is created, isn't it so? Whatever you're enjoying today is not your work. It happened once. A scientist, an old man, went and sat in a football match. A young man in his early 20s was sipping Coca-Cola and looked at the old guy and wanted to have a dig at him. Then he said, you guys of your time and your antiquity just can't understand us. We are today's people. You don't know anything about our lives, nor do you understand life at all in this world. Because you guys, you people, you didn't have a television. You didn't know what's a computer. You didn't know what's a spacecraft. And you did not even know what is a Coca-Cola. What kind of life was that? So the old-timer said, yes, we did not have all those things when we were children, but we created all those things. What have you done, shithead? That's the samskara.